Raid Boss 7 has got to be one of the most funnest and OP builds in all of Deadlock. Not only will it help you win more games, but also help you climb the ranks as well. In this video, we'll be talking about how to properly execute the build, what items to buy, and what to do during different stages of the game. Quick reminder to drop a like if you enjoy the video, and don't forget to subscribe for more Deadlock content. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The reason why 7 can even be called a raid boss is simply because of how fast and efficient he is at farming the jungle. Because he could clear camps super fast, he's able to gain a bunch of souls very quickly, more so than any other hero in the game. Therefore, this means that he could acquire more stronger, powerful items sooner than anyone else in the game because of just how fast he is at farming jungle camps. So the first thing I want to mention is that when we're doing this build, we are going to break it up into 3 phases. It's basically going to be the early game, mid game, and late game. But I like to describe it as the early game, the mid game farming simulator, and then the late game raid boss. So let's go over it. All right, to start us off, this is the entire build right here that I made. So if you guys do want to check this build out, just go ahead and type Legacy Raid Boss 7 and it will pop up and you guys can check it out for yourself. So for the first phase, our early game, it's not anything too deep. You're just going to be buying these items. I prefer this left to right. It's not too serious though. You're just going to be buying, charge, reach, spirit, as you'll be buying that late game. But the most important thing you're going to be focused on early game is honestly just securing souls, but also denying souls too. But most importantly, just getting as many souls as we can. We're not looking to really get any kills or anything like that too much. We're just trying to get souls. So that's pretty much it for the early game. And like I said, it's not really that deep. It's just simple early game. So the second phase is going to be your farming phase. And so it's going to last from, I would say, the 10-minute mark to around the 30-minute mark. And we are going to be spending 80% of our time farming, which is pretty much collecting any souls that we can. And then the other 20% is going to be spent doing things like clearing lanes, helping team fights, doing objectives like earn and maybe mid-boss, things like that. Your number one goal in the mid-game is to get as many souls as possible by any means necessary. So that's, like I said, jungle camps, clearing waves and pushing up lanes that need to be pushed, clearing boxes and golden statues, anything like that. Anything that will get you souls, we are trying to collect as many souls as possible. So when it comes to the mid game, we are going to be farming. And so we want to actually buy items that would do either one of 2 things or both. 1, help us clear jungle camps faster and more efficiently. And 2, help us stay alive. We are not actually going to be buying any of the normal late game items that you would think to buy right off the bat. We're actually going to be spending a little bit more time farming up a lot for around 20 minutes or so, and then we'll be going into the late game items. Very important to note that you do not actually need to buy all of these. These are just all the items that I have listed that we are going to go over right now that you could potentially buy. So feel free to experiment with these however you want. Like I said, you do not need to buy all of them, okay? So just buy which ones you think work best for you. During this phase, it is super important to not die here. The reason for that is because since you're farming so many jungle camps, there are going to be times where you're going to have so many unsecured souls. I'm talking maybe 1,000, 2,000, even up to 3,000 unsecured souls. And so if you get caught out by an enemy or a few enemies, you get jumped and you die, that is going to be super bad for you. Because not only are you giving the enemy team a couple thousand souls, you just wasted all that time collecting those souls. And now you're also dead for a minute. So you just wasted about 5 minutes and you also gave the enemy team a couple thousand souls. It's pretty much game over. And if you die too often in this mid game farming phase, you are going to take way too long to come online. So it is super important that you do not die here, and that's why we also buy items that will help us stay alive. All right, so let's go over the items now. So Fleet Footwork is just going to give you that movement speed to get to the jungle camps faster. Majestic Leap for me is an absolute must-have for 7 because it does 3 things. The first thing it's going to do is help you get to jungle camps quicker, really fast by just leaping around everywhere. Second, it's going to help you stay alive. So if an enemy comes to kill you while you're farming, you could just Majestic Leap out of there if you're quick enough. So it'll help you stay alive that way by, acting as an escape. And then the third thing too is it synergizes with your ult super well, which works for late game as well. So as we know, your ult works really well when you're in the air, and Majestic Leap does exactly that. There's also times in mid game too, like I said, during that 20% when you actually want to help out with your team sometimes. There's been times where like 3 enemies are pushing a guardian and I will be like 1 lane away and I'll just Majestic Leap into the lane up high and just press my ult, and it completely zones them off the guardian. We win the team fight, nobody dies, they back off, and so it's just super good. I think Majestic Leap is a must-have. I buy it every single game. So yeah, rapid recharge is going to help you clear faster because it allows you to throw more lightning balls out. Not only are you going to have more charges, but you're going to throw them out sooner. So for example, when you're doing the tier 3 camps, if you don't have this item, it's going to be a 6-second cooldown when the lightning ball expires. So it's gonna, take longer to do tier 3 camps. But if you had rapid recharge, you could throw them out before they even expire. So it just helps you clear tier 3 camps faster. So it just adds on more to that efficiency. Duration extender, just make your lightning balls last longer so you can clear camps. Once you have this, I actually don't even think you need to buy this, but at some point in the game, once you have enough damage in the mid game, you could actually walk up to a tier 2 camp and just throw one lightning ball and just walk away, and it will literally die. And that's why 7 is super good at farming, because you could just throw a lightning ball and walk away. So yeah, duration extender for that. Improved spirit, just so our lightning balls are doing more damage to camps. There you go. Superior stamina is going to be really good, because if enemy hero tries to come and kill you, you could just dash out of there, do a couple dash jumps, and you are out. So I think superior stamina works really well to keep you alive. You can use it also to get to camps quicker, but it's mostly going to be meant to keep you alive. So there you go. Enduring speed, also same concept. It's going to help you increase that movement speed. But also it is important to know, if you guys didn't already know, that 7's movement speed actually scales with spirit power. So you might not actually need to be buying too much endurance speed items, because you actually are going to get movement speed on your own. But if you want to buy it, go ahead. But I do think, because it is cheaper, but I do think that superior stamina is more of a safe option. It is more costly, but it is going to definitely get you out of a sticky situation more so than enduring speed would. On Tesla bullets, I used to buy this a lot. I don't buy it too much anymore, but Tesla bullets is good because it's just going to make your auto attacks just ricochet onto other targets, so it's going to help you farm faster. But once you get enough items, you actually could just, like I said, throw one lightning ball at a camp and it will die, so you don't really need to shoot it anyways. But when you are in the early to mid game, then Tesla bullets actually works really well here, because your lightning balls aren't doing too much damage, so Tesla bullets will definitely help out. But it's I don't really use it that much anymore, but if you want to try it out and you like it, go ahead and use it. And then you have your 2 armors. So if you want to just get some armor to help you stay alive, especially if, the team's very heavy on like spirit damage or bullet weapon damage, then go ahead and buy one of these. I tend to buy these anyways at some point in the game, even if it's not in the mid game. Sometimes I'll buy them in the late game if it's like I have no room for anything else. I'll just buy those. So leech is an absolute must have. You're going to be buying this every single game. Reason for is because it's going to heal you so much when you ult, and if you are ulting on a bunch of enemies, it's going to just give you a bunch of healing. Especially, it's also going to be doing the damage to the minions as well, which will also heal you in return. So this helps you stay alive during your ult. It's really good. Get leech. And then magic carpet, this one I've actually never really purchased, but I do know that a lot of people do like to buy magic carpet when it comes to the raid boss 7 build. Reason for is that it's really going to help you escape if you are about to die while farming. So I could imagine if you have like 3,000 unsecured souls and you get jumped by like 3 enemy heroes, you could just magic carpet out of there and you will live. This will save your life more so than like superior stamina will or majestic leap will. But it is a tier 4 6,200 cost item, so I don't really buy it ever, because I've never bought it when playing 7. But if you want to buy it because you really want to be safe, then go ahead. But I don't buy it, but I put it on here so you can see and test it out for yourself. So that's pretty much it for the mid game. Like I said, we are going to be spending most of our time farming here. Like I said, 10 to 20 minutes into the game, we are going to be farming. And because of that, I also wanted to give you guys a heads up that at around, I would say 25 to 30 minutes, your teammates will begin to flame you for farming too much. Don't worry about that. Don't listen to them. That happens all the time. Just tell them, hey, don't worry, guys. I'm about to come online. I'm about to buy all my late game power spikes, and I'll win us the game. And then you usually will, and then they won't say anything after that. So just want to give you guys a heads up. Don't worry about that. Don't let that tilt you or anything like that. All right, so for the late game, this is when we actually start to come online. Like I said, 30 minutes in or so. Could be earlier, could be later. Just to kind of depends how the game's going and how efficient you are at farming. But this is going to be left to right. This is my opinion of what I think is best. But we're going to start with improved reach. View that into your ult. Spear duration, view that into your ult, and spear cooldown, and view that into your ult. Some builds don't use duration, some builds don't use cooldown, but I like having the best ult possible. That's just me. So I put reach into ult, duration into my ult, and cooldown into my ult. So I buy those 3 first, and then we start buying the damage. So we do Boundless Spirit, and then we do Escalating Exposure. You could maybe do Escalating Exposure first, then Boundless Spirit. It's not really that much of a difference, but I just do Boundless Spirit typically first and then Exposure. However, I will do Exposure first. If the enemy team is very tanky and has a lot of health, then I will do Exposure first. But other than that, I'll do Boundless Spirit. Then we're going to be doing Unstoppable, because if the enemy team has like a Lash or a Beat Bop or something, and you ult and then they just, you know, stun you. That's not good. So you want to buy unstoppable. Right before you ult, pop unstoppable, then ult, and you should be safe there. Then Diviner's Kevlar concept is just keeping you alive during your ult, because it is late game. People are still going to be doing a lot of damage to you, and so they could, you know, still potentially kill you in your ult, even though it's doing a lot of damage if they're tanky enough. So you also kind of want to be tanky in return, and that's why Diviner's Kevlar is going to be good. And it also gives you more life steal too on top of that. But it's also going to give you that 700 Spirit Shield and Bullet Shield to help you stay alive during your ult as well. That's why I also mentioned earlier that I start buying the armors now too. If they're really heavy on either or, I'll start buying the armors around this point if I don't have any other like important items to buy. But other than that, next one, Spiritual Overflow. This one's really good because as you're just throwing your Power Surge out, your Spiritual Overflow is going to be stacking up and you're going to be getting that spirit power. So Spiritual Overflow, really good. Because at some point you're going to run out of slots for Vitality and Spirit, and you're going to have 1 or 2 weapon slots open. So there you go. And then Soul Rebirth, if you have room. You might actually not have room for Soul Rebirth, but obviously late game, everyone ends up buying Soul Rebirth at some point. So there you go. All right, guys, and then for the ability order, we're going to be doing the Lightning Ball first. Then you're going to be doing Power Surge, and then your ult Storm Cloud, and then Static Charge. This is what it looks like down here. Keep in mind, too, that at Tier 3 upgrade for Lightning Ball increases the radius by 1 meter. And so that's really, really going to help out with farming jungle camps, because your Lightning Ball will now be able to hit all the monsters in the jungle camp. Because without the 1 meter radius, even if you have Mystic Reach but don't have Lightning Ball upgraded all the way, your Lightning Ball will not hit all the monsters in some specific camps. And that's why you want to max out our Lightning Ball first, because it'll allow you to clear the camps even faster. So quick rundown, early game for, you know, so about 8 to 10 minutes or so, you're going to just be focusing on securing souls and denying souls too. Your mid game, you're going to just be farming the entire time. Just farm every single camp you possibly can. But not only jungle camps, also, you know, be looking to clear waves. If there's any waves that need to be pushed up, you could defend some towers or anything like that if there's enemies trying to take those down. How about with team fights? Maybe run the urn. Also super important, you should be running the urn at some point in the game, because your movement speed is going to be really, really high. And so you will definitely be the best possible candidate to run the urn. So I would say mid to late game, think about running the urn for your team, because you have a bunch of movement speed. So definitely be running the urn. Look to do that. But other than that, yeah, we're going to be farming. So just, you know, like I said, focus on items that help you farm faster and more efficiently and help you stay alive so you don't die. Really, really serious. So I'll say it once again, do not die at all with a bunch of unsecured souls. Do not die. That is super important. You will completely throw the game and ruin the whole build if you die with a bunch of unsecured souls. Because like I said, you're giving the enemy souls and you just wasted all that time. So definitely do not die. But yeah, just buy a couple of these. Like I said, you don't need to buy all of them. Just buy whatever ones work for you. Try them out. Try different ones out, different combinations of them, and see which one work out for you the most, okay? And then late game, start buying these. Like I said, this is my left to right preference in order of buying them. So go ahead and buy these. If you want to buy them in a different order, go ahead and try it out. But this is what I like to buy. And once you have all of these, I would say probably up to like unstoppable, you quite literally are unstoppable, and you will pretty much just become a raid boss and win the game. The best possible feeling is when you're in the enemy base, you're about to win the game, all the enemies are coming up, you just majestic leap in the air, get up high, pop unstoppable, then pop your ult, and it's game over. They can't really do anything. They can't stun you. The damage is way too high. They can't come out of base, and your team will pretty much just win. So it is super, super powerful late game. You are just a menace to the whole enemy team. All right, guys, that's pretty much going to be it for this build. If you do enjoy the build, like I said, look it up, test the build out for yourself, give it a like if you like it. This is what I made personally. I've seen a couple other video suggestions on how exactly to go about this build and what items to buy. But like I said, some of it is a little bit experimental for yourself. So try out the mid game items how you see fit. But once you buy the late game items, it is super, super fun. And you do just so much damage, and it'll really help you win games and climb the ranks. All right. So like I said, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like, give it a thumbs up so we can get out to more people. Let me know if I did a good job on the video. If you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing. Also follow my TikTok down in the description below. I do stream on TikTok from time to time. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Like I said, subscribe to see more Deadlock content. And yeah, that is it. We will see you in the next video, guys. Peace out.